A large winter storm will be coming to the United States over the next few days, and this will bring the potential for heavy snowfall to areas like the Great Lakes in the Northeast. And in addition to that, we're also going to be watching for the potential for some isolated severe weather and also the threat for flooding rainfall. And then after the storm moves through, we will be dealing with the coldest weather that we've seen all season long, with sub-zero temperatures likely in the Midwest, Ohio Valley, and the Northeast. So in today's forecast, we're going to break down exactly what you need to know about the weather that'll be impacting the United States over the next 7 to 10 days. And we'll begin with what's happening across the country this morning. And you'll notice there's a big green blob right now across areas like the Ohio Valley and as well as the Dixie Alley. And this is stemming from an area of moisture that is coming out of the Pacific Ocean. This is going to fuel more showers and thunderstorms over the next few days. But for the time being, we are seeing some light to moderate rainfall that is filling into the Ohio Valley this morning. On the other hand, we do have a little clipper system that's been moving across the upper Midwest, and this will bring the potential for a little bit of snowfall, even moving into the Northeast later today. And then also back over in Montana, we actually have had blizzard conditions happening overnight due to some snow that's falling and also very high winds. Now, right now, the temperatures are running above average for much of the United States, but that's going to change as we go into the middle of this week because we are going to see the formation of an Arctic blast across the Midwest. And as we go into Tuesday night, that cold air is going to really start to build, especially back over into Canada. But eventually, as we go into Wednesday, that is when some frigid weather will be moving into areas like the Midwest and the Ohio Valley. Meanwhile, we will have warm air moving into areas like the Northeast and up and down the East Coast with our trough that's going to be located back over in Canada. So as we go into Wednesday night into Thursday morning, that is when this very frigid weather will be moving into the Midwest, including areas like Minneapolis and the Windy City, and it will eventually move into the Ohio Valley. Now, keep in mind, all of this is below average temperatures, but this right here is where we're going to have the coldest of the weather. That is where we could see some spots 20 to 30 degrees below average as we go into Wednesday and Thursday. Eventually, as we go into late Thursday into Friday, this cold air mass will begin to fizzle out. It's not going to be nearly as intense. It will move across the Northeast on Friday, but eventually by the weekend, things will start to warm back up. So again, the good news here is that it's not going to be lasting very long. It's only going to last 2 to 3 days, but you are definitely going to feel the impacts because these are the wind chills as we wake up Thursday morning. Wind chills across the Midwest and the northern plains currently expected to be around 20 to 30 degrees below zero. So that's frigid. Make sure that you have multiple layers on if you do go outside, as frostbite will be a possibility. Areas like Ohio and Indiana could also be near 0 degrees for wind chills. By Friday morning, it will start to improve, but it's still going to be very cold, especially back over in Wisconsin and as well as Minnesota. Now, on the other hand, temperatures are going to still be very cold, not nearly as low as the wind chills, but we are going to still have many areas sub-zero like Wisconsin, Minnesota, and North Dakota. Areas like Ohio and Indiana will still be in the teens, some spots even near the single digits. And eventually, as we go into Friday morning, similar story. The Northeast will start to feel those impacts as well. And then by Saturday, things will start to warm back up again. Even though it's still going to be pretty cold out there, it'll at least be somewhat of an improvement. Now let's talk more about this large storm that'll be coming to the United States in the form of snow, rain, and also some severe weather. And we'll begin with the future radar, beginning with today. Right now, we do have plenty of showers falling across areas like Louisiana back into parts of the Northeast. A little clipper system as well. It's going to bring some snowfall into areas like the upper Midwest today and eventually into northern New England tonight. So notice areas like northern New England, especially the higher elevations, will be picking up some nice snowfall tonight. Eventually, as we go into tomorrow, things start to get a little bit less active, but it's really going to change as we go into Wednesday. You might not see much here, but I want to point out a couple of things. First off, that really cold air is still going to be sitting up in northern parts of southern Canada as we go into Tuesday. We are going to have some cold air advection moving into areas like the Midwest, but that's just one of 2 shots of cold air that you're going to be seeing. Then we'll be watching this area of building shower and thunderstorm activity Tuesday afternoon, where there could be a couple of isolated severe storms in areas like Georgia and Alabama. But as we go into Tuesday night and eventually into Wednesday morning, this thing is really going to upscale very quickly. This is by Wednesday morning around sunrise. You'll notice there will be plenty of rain falling up and down the East Coast. The one thing with this is that we are going to have a lot of warm air lifting out of the south, and that's going to keep things relatively warm across the entire Northeast as we go into Wednesday. Now, what I mean by warm is basically warm enough to the point where there won't really be much snow falling, but that will change as we go into Wednesday night. Also, I want to point out that there will be an elevated potential here for at least heavy rainfall that could lead to flooding Wednesday morning, maybe even some severe weather across the Carolinas and the Southeast on Wednesday. Eventually, as we go into into Wednesday afternoon and evening, the most intense showers and thunderstorms will eventually start to move offshore. North Carolina will still be dealing with some isolated severe weather, I think, Wednesday afternoon. The winter storm aspect of this starts to ramp up Wednesday afternoon and evening, where moderate to heavy snowfall will be falling in western Pennsylvania and New York, and eventually by Wednesday night into early Thursday morning, heavy rain will move into the northeast. Heavy snowfall will continue on the backside of this trough for areas like New York and Pennsylvania. Lake effect snow will start to ramp up as well across western Michigan, even back over near Lake Erie and Lake Ontario as we go into Wednesday night into Thursday morning. And then eventually by Thursday morning, this is eventually moving out. We'll continue to see a westerly wind, which will bring lake effect snow to areas like New York and as well as northwest Pennsylvania, before that eventually fizzles out as we go into Friday. And the GFS model also shows the potential for another winter weather event occurring across the Midwest and the Great Lakes as we go into Friday night, so that might be something to watch for as well. But as of right now, it's a little too early to tell what's going to happen with that. I also want to point out the GFS model right now does show this trough being in western New England. If this were to shift a little bit further to the east over the next couple of days on the computer models, we could see more significant snowfall here in New England, so definitely keep that in mind. Right now the snow does look like it's going to just stay off to the west of New England. This is a little closer look at that rain and snow line as we go into Wednesday night, so notice how it's really barely going to move into New England as we go into Thursday morning. So overall, I think the majority of the snowfall will be staying out here in Pennsylvania and across New York, and also up and down the Appalachian Mountains. Now this storm is going to dump several inches of snow, beginning with our little clipper system. Today we're going to see a widespread area in northern New England pick up anywhere from 1 to 5 inches of snowfall. Highest snowfall accumulation will be in Vermont and New Hampshire. As we eventually go into Wednesday and Thursday, that is when we're going to have another round of snow. This snow is going to be pretty quick moving, so we're not going to see significant accumulation, I don't think, but overall we're still watching for a widespread area between 2 to 4 inches of snow. Some spots will pick up as much as 8 inches of snow. Here's where the most snow is going to come, is going to be out of that lake effect snow event. Areas back over in southwest New York and northwest Pennsylvania, and as well as over near Watertown, New York, will have the potential for picking up between 1 to 3 feet of snow on the back side of this trough as we go into late Wednesday and eventually throughout the day on Thursday. Back over in the Midwest, there will be some snowfall again from the lake effect snow, so areas like western Michigan will pick up on a nice little will pick up on several inches of snow. There could be some spots that pick up near a foot of snow. Same thing for the upper peninsula of Michigan. Now in terms of total rainfall, this storm is going to bring a lot of rain. We're talking about a widespread area seeing at least 1/10 of an inch of rainfall up and down the East Coast. Pretty impressive to see this much amount of rain coverage from one storm itself. This is again all the way through Thursday of this week. There will be some spots in the southeast like Georgia and South Carolina that could pick up as much as 4 to 6 inches of rain out of this. Those areas do not need that much rain after what we had with Helene only a few months ago, but we will be still talking about anywhere from, Alabama back up into areas like Virginia and Maryland to see a widespread area of 1 to 3 inches of rainfall. So be prepared. There could be some localized flooding. If you are in a low-lying area, it's a good idea to make sure that you're staying vigilant, as there could be some flooding. Now, in terms of total snowfall between now all the way through Sunday, this is a rough estimate. Areas like the Midwest could see some snowfall as we go into this weekend. It's too early to tell, though, whether that's going to happen. It's a pretty early trend here on the GFS model. And then elsewhere, again, the most significant snowfall will be mostly across the Northeast, up and down the Appalachian Mountains, and then back over into Michigan. Meanwhile, we'll be talking about some pretty significant snowfall, even back over in areas like the Cascades and the Sierra Nevada, back over in areas like California, Washington, and Oregon as we go later into this week. And that's all the weather I have to talk to you about today. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new here, like the video as well. And as a friendly reminder, this is the second to last day that you can get any sort of merch at shopmaxvelocity.net, like our Happy Holidays collection, and receive it before Christmas with standard shipping. So if you want to get any sort of merch for maybe a holiday gift or a stocking stuffer, perfect idea to do so. You can get it at shopmaxvelocity.net. It is the top link in the description below. We have our Happy Holidays collection, Flying Trampoline merch, Drunk NATO merch, and as well as our Max Velocity collection. Again, perfect opportunity to get a gift. Make sure to go check it out at shopmaxvelocity.net.